Well, I'm standing right outside of here where history happened, as Josh Fattal paid us an exclusive visit to talk to us about his time captured while in Iran. The scene was set as Josh Fattal stood in front of the masses and relived this tragic event.
It's the middle of the day. It's later in the afternoon. We've been detained at 12 that day, and we're driving. It's me, Sarah, and Shane in the back seat. 2 Iranian guards in the front. There's a car behind us following us, so in case we were to try to do some James Bond move and get out, there was a car behind us. The driver turns around and he says, "Soleimania or Erbil?" And he doesn't speak English, but these are names of 2 cities in Iraq where we just came from. And we said, and we're like, oh, okay, he's telling us asking us which city we want to return to. And so we look at each other and we say, Soleimania. Great, going back. Good, it was just a few hours and we're going back. And he's like, okay. And he points Soleimania, or we pass Soleimania. We told him we want to go to Soleimania, why? And so we're like, okay, well, let's just go to Erbil. It's better than being in Iran. Come on, we'll go there. Just drive. He keeps going straight. And we look at each other like, okay. He was obviously just lying to us. And the driver turns around, or the guy in the passenger seat turns around, holds his hand out, and says, USA, Obama. Nothing. Can't do nothing for you.
Imagine being trapped and feeling like no one could help. Well, that's how Josh felt after the Iranian security took away his only escape, his books.
Books with gold, because you could, believe me, books were gold. You can get in them, you can read the books, and transport you to the early 19th century England. Some aristocrat is courting a bunch of young damsels, and it's just the stupidest story, really, but it was so interesting to me. They only gave me a 70-page version. It was like English for a second language. It was like a cliff notes of it. Read it in an hour and a half, but those hours and a half, I'm gone. I'm gone from my cell, and it's amazing. Eventually got more books, but at first only had a couple, and was dying for more. And at this point, I had 2 books, these 70 pages. And this guy, David, comes to my cell, and he says, Josh, how are you? I said, oh, great, David. I see you got 2 books in your hand. You're gonna give them to me. He said, let me see your books first. I said, well, I want to reread them a few more times. Let me just see them. I won't take them. And I have 2, and I'm trying to decide. I'm like, should I tell him I only 1 or 2? Okay, fine. Here, you can see it, but I need it, And I assume you'll give me the other 2 back. He takes the books, he closes the door, he leaves. I don't have a doorknob. I can't go out and chase him. So that was probably, when I think back, the angriest time I was ever in prison. The angriest I was.
Now, although this story became an instant media sensation when it broke, it hit very close to home here in Cheltenham, as Josh was one of our own.
I was very much here. I was a Cheltenham graduate, but I was really involved in student groups and just trying to be a good student, study hard. But when I left, I really kind of looked into very different things, and I felt like I just opened up to a whole new life when I graduated here.
I talked to faculty member Brittany McKenna about how she became the leader of the Free the Hikers movement and her personal ties to the family.
Well, initially, Ms. Greenwald really started the organization of events here at the high school, and I had a connection to Josh when we were younger, and I wanted to get involved and help out, so I joined Ms. Greenwald.
So how do you think the students reacted to the assembly? Because really, it really was a fantastic thing to witness and listen to.
It was great. There was a great response afterwards. I heard a lot of positive feedback. People were very grateful to hear the things that Josh was willing to say and was willing to come back to Cheltenham and share his experience with us. I was very impressed that the room was silent numerous times throughout the speech. You could have heard a pin drop, and there were over 800 people in the room. So it was really well received. The students were very respectful. They were very attentive, and it's a testament to our building, really.
Sophomore and writer in the Cheltonian, Emmy Cohen, had this to say about her time at the Free the Hikers event.
So I didn't just want to ask questions about what it was like for him. I wanted the other students to kind of understand what he was going through, not just physically, but also mentally, and to kind of be able to put like their feet in his shoes.
Now, I guess after researching and after hearing what Josh has said, what do you really take away from this experience, and what did you hope others took away from this?
So the school was really behind Josh the whole time that he was in captivity, and I think a lot of kids were like really into freeing the hikers, but they didn't know who they were. So I think it was good to kind of put a face to the name.
Josh has taken away a valuable lesson from this happening in is life, and it's something that we should all think about.
In order to find out your place in these struggles, in this process, you have to have some dream. You have to be able to listen to yourself and listen to your heart and follow where you want to go. And follow the path and know, and I want to tell you that know that you might get lost. You might, on that path, you might trust the wrong person. You might find yourself in a strange land where no one speaks your language, behind prison bars, and alone. And your life might be at risk, and some guy might be cocking a gun at you, threatening to kill you for some deeds that your government did long ago and is continuing to do now. And that's part of the reality. But I'm also telling you to do it. That's to find that path, to follow it, to follow your own. Listen to yourself. Is there something missing? What is it?
And Josh is certainly not done telling his story, as he will be presenting a memoir talking about his trials and even some triumphs of his time captured in Iran. Well, this is Michael Fuller reporting for Eye of the Panther, Channel 42.